There are 7 steps every man needs to take if he wants to take control over his money. If you want to have financial freedom, the ability to quit your miserable 9-to-5 job, provide and take care of a family, and have the ability to go wherever and do whatever you need to, apply these 7 steps to your life. The first one I want to talk about is cleaning up your expenses. This is pretty simple. If you have no control over your expenses and where your money goes, then you have no control over your financial life. You need to be able to have money to invest, not only into stocks and to grow your money naturally, but also into yourself. You need to be able to grow your own skills and your own abilities, and you're not going to be able to learn, pay for books, pay for online education if you're spending a bunch of money elsewhere. The number one expense and killer for most young men is student loan debt. Now, I'm fortunate to not have any, so whether you didn't have help from your parents or you didn't have help from scholarships, getting out of student loan debt is crucial. If you also have a car loan or you have credit card debt, you need to get out of that immediately because that's extra money every single month going towards expenses that you aren't even benefiting from anymore. Pay it off immediately. You will not be able to be financially free if you are struggling with debt, so get out of debt immediately. I don't care if that means cutting all your expenses, eating straight up rice, beans, chicken, and lettuce. I don't care if that means you don't spend any money going to movies or hanging out with friends. You need to get out of debt immediately. It is the first and major step. Also, cleaning up just your other expenses as well. If you're trying to be financially free, you should not be blowing a bunch of money on clothes you don't need. You shouldn't be blowing money on shoes you don't need. You shouldn't be blowing money on really anything. Another thing that comes to mind when we're talking about expenses as well is vices. I'm talking about drugs. I'm talking about alcohol. I'm talking about gambling. A bunch of things that can bring fun to your life and immediate joy. Those things cost a lot of money, and not only are they hurting your life and hurting your lifestyle, which is also going to hurt your money, they're also just really expensive. To gamble on a football game, it's not really fun if you put $10 down. You have to put 20, 30, 40, 50 down, and then when you lose that bet, that's money that's just completely gone now. You need to take control of that. You need to build discipline. And overall, just not spend money on things that you don't need. It's really simple, but you need to clean your expenses up. Step number 2 is to become great at something. The reason for this is so that somebody can pay you for this. Now, it doesn't have to be somebody paying you. You can be self-employed as well, but you need to get good at something that's valuable, something that people will pay you for. Now, there's a lot of fear with AI and taking over jobs, and my take on this is just as like the internet came, and people were scared for their minds thinking that a bunch of jobs were going to be lost. There weren't jobs that were lost, there were jobs that were created. And so one of the biggest things that men can do currently is figure out how AI is going to impact their job field and then apply that to make extra money. But again, going back to the base point here, just become great at something. And it has to be something of value. Getting really great at Call of Duty isn't going to pay the bills unless you're a professional. But again, that's very few and far between. Try to find something practical that you can get really good at and then get good at it. And this goes back to my point earlier of cutting your expenses. And now that you have the money and the freed up will, you can go ahead and put that towards getting better at this goal, learning how to get better at whatever you want to do, whether that's content creation, whether that's sales, whether that's marketing, whether that's engineering. Become better, learn, improve, and as you continue to do better and get better, your income will increase with that. It's a pretty simple process, but if you're really good at something, somebody's going to pay you a lot of money to be able to do that thing. If you get nothing else from this video, your number one wealth building tool isn't going to be your stocks. It isn't going to be anything else. It's going to be your income. If your income goes up, everything else will go up with it. Which brings us to step number 3, which is building your investments. Now, this is kind of ironic after I just talked about your income being your most impactful thing, but your investments is a close second because this can actually be very passive. Sure, you still have to earn the money to invest, but once the money's in the market, the dividends are passive, the growth on the stock is passive, and you're going to generate so much money that you're going to grow to $100,000 in the bank to $1 million to $10 million so much faster if you invest. Otherwise, your money is just going to sit stagnant in the bank and not earn any interest, and it's not going to grow at all over time. So you might be asking, now how do I invest money, genius? It's really not that hard, and I don't mean to be blunt about that. There's really just 3 simple steps you have to take. The first step is to actually start, and that's by finding a brokerage to go through. You have to go through a platform to invest. Now, there's a bunch of different options out out there. I'm not going to tell you specifically which one to go with because I don't want to be held liable, but there are stuff like Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, so many reliable investment platforms. Go with one of those instead of a sketchy one. Even if those other ones are promising you free stocks or whatever, there's usually a reason they're doing that. And I'm not saying Vanguard and Fidelity might not do that as well, but just go with one that's more reputable. It will pay off and it's more secure. The second step in this step number 3 is to actually pick what account you want to make. Now, there's a lot of confusing lingo on different accounts, but it's really pretty simple. You either want to go with a tax advantage account or a normal brokerage account. The most popular tax advantaged account is a Roth IRA. So what do I mean by tax advantage account? When you reach the age, I think of 65 and a half, I might be wrong on that, it might be 67 or 66. Around that age, you're going to be pulling your money out of your account, and when you do, you're not going to pay tax on it. Now, there's limits, contribution limits, age limits to when you can pull the money out, the one I talked about earlier already, and then there's usually a contribution limit around $6,000 to $7,000 as well. So again, there's reasons why people go with normal brokerage accounts, which you have to still pay tax on the earnings, and then there's also no limits at all. But again, you have to figure out which one's best for you. For most people who are not earning too much money yet, going with a Roth account is going to be the best move. And then step number 3 is then putting money in and investing it. You can't just put money into the account and it will grow. You actually have to invest in stocks. Now, you don't have to pick a bunch of different stocks and get good at that. Really, if you invest in index and mutual funds, you're gonna end up having a lot of success. I think Warren Buffett even said if he invested in the index funds and he had some professional stock picker to try to beat him out, he's still gonna beat that person out most of the time. Can you get really good at stocks? Of course, but for most people, mutual funds and index funds will work perfectly. So again, just to summarize this step number 3, pick a brokerage. Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab are great. Open an account. Most people will go with a Roth because of the tax advantage, and then pick an index or a mutual fund. It's really just that simple. That's a simple 3-step way to start investing today. But again, do your own research and invest your money the way you want to. Which brings us to step number 4, which brings us a little bit back to reality. Control your environment. The most arbitrary, redundant, whatever acronym you want to throw on this quote of your 5 closest friends will determine who you are is annoying to hear, and I hate to hear it as well, but there is so much truth to this. If you're friends with 5 fools, you will be a fool. If you're friends with 5 wise men, you'll become a wise man. This goes for friends, this goes for family, this goes for colleagues, this goes for who you're dating. This goes for what you do on the weekends. Control your environment. If you have 5 friends who go out to the bars every Friday and Saturday and you go with them, you're going to end up becoming somebody who just goes out and drinks. If you become friends, however, with 5 people from a college that you're attending and they're all a part of this marketing group, all pursuing a goal of becoming a better businessman, you're going to eventually probably grow into that role as well. Again, there's still self-discipline, there's still choices that you have to make, but you're naturally going to gravitate towards what your environment is. And so choose an environment and build an environment around yourself. Take accountability for yourself to build your own environment to be able to do that. You're going to grow so much faster, and then you're also going to have maybe future business partners. You're going to have colleagues that you can bounce things off of. There's so many things that go into this, but make sure you're controlling your environment and building one that's going to make you successful and not a failure. Which brings us to step number 5, don't increase spending. We talked about cleaning up your expenses earlier, and naturally what happens over time, as you become great at something, as you build your investments, as you have a good community of men around you helping you grow your income further, you're going to have a want to go buy things. Buy a fancy sports car, buy fancy clothes, start splurging on DoorDash. And while some of those things might save you time, which isn't necessarily a bad investment at all, a lot of them are going to be not worth your money. You should instead continue to build your investments, continue to invest in yourself, continue to invest in your relationships, and continue to live on a low income. Living on a low income is the best thing you can do to gain financial freedom because it gives you freedom early on, right? When we talk about financial freedom when you're rich, you can do whatever, buy whatever, take whatever job you want. That's real freedom. But the first step is to be comfortable living poorly, and that's going to give you freedom to become financially free. I know that sounds kind of contradictory and confusing, but you can't act rich when you're not rich. It's pretty simple. Step number 6 is daily discipline. Again, all of these steps kind of work in unison because it's all building to the same goal. So when we look back at control your environment, if you're around a bunch of disciplined people, you're naturally going to become more disciplined. But at the end of the day, you do have to pull yourself out of bed. You do have to make your own bed. You do have to go to the gym. You do have to take accountability for your work to become better at stuff. So there is discipline, and you do have to grow in your own discipline to become better. So don't get it twisted. So what does building daily discipline look like practically? Well, it's really simple. If you become disciplined in one area of your life, it usually bleeds over to other areas in your life. So if you want to make 10 sales calls a day, it's one thing to just say, okay, go and do it. But if you're also hitting the gym every day, if you're also reading 10 to 20 minutes a day, if you're doing other habits consistently every single day, doing 10 sales pitches, 10 sales calls is going to be easy to adapt as well. Again, this doesn't apply to just sales, this applies to everything, but you get what I'm saying. Build discipline in other areas of your life, even if it's super simple. What I will tell you is that nobody will become great at what they do if they're eating a bunch of junk food, drinking alcohol every night, sleeping until 11 a.m. If you're doing all of those things, then you're not going to grow to be a successful person because that's not what successful people do. The world is competitive and you need to put yourself in a place to be able to excel. Which brings us to step number 7, marry the right girl. Now, what you might be thinking is, holy cow, I'm watching some guy play Call of Duty giving me financial advice, and now he's giving me dating advice as well. What is this? Well, who you marry is very, very important. I think everybody watching this video, yes, you want to become financially free, but you also probably want to settle down, have a family, get married, and a lot of that is by choosing the right person. Now, we look at values, we look at politics, we look at faith, religion, we look at a bunch of other things, how to parent, but one of the leading causes of divorce is money. And if you get a divorce, you're gonna lose half of your net worth, probably even more, and then have to pay child support, right? Like, there's so many things that will bankrupt you and make you poor if you choose the wrong woman. That being said, if you choose the right woman, it actually increases the amount of money that you'll probably make in your lifetime. There's so many statistics that show married men are more financially successful, and a lot of the in-betweens and intricacies. Again, why is that? Well, maybe it builds more discipline. Maybe it has something to do with having to help your partner. I don't know why those statistics lean that way, but it is the truth. So how can we make the right choice? How can we not devastate our lives by choosing the wrong person? And how do we choose the right person? And furthermore, how does choosing the right person actually help us? Well, I think the number one thing you need to look for is find somebody with the same financial values as you. If you find a girl and all she wants to do is go on fancy dinners so she can post them on Instagram, if you find a girl who just wants a big fat diamond ring when you get engaged to her, who wants a fancy honeymoon, well, those are contradicting everything else we just said in this video. Everything I already went over is being contradicted by those things. So don't go and marry that girl. I know it's hard enough trying to find some nice girl who actually cares about your family and your friends and cares about you. That's hard. So you might want to take shortcuts at some place, but that will lead to destruction. To make it simple, find a girl that believes in you. I think that applies to a lot of different aspects in our lives, but all men really want is to be respected. Find a woman that respects you, that respects your ambition, that respects your financial goals, that respects your desire to be financially free, because not only is she going to want that too, but she's going to trust the process when you're cutting your necessities, when you're living differently, when everybody else is doing one thing and you guys are doing the other thing. You want to find that girl who's willing to sign up for that. And that's easier said than done, I know, but it is so much better to be single than marry somebody that's going to ruin your financial freedom. Thank you so much for watching, and click this next video if you want to continue to learn how to be financially free.